Welcome everyone to episode 17 of Cooking with Glenn, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit fun, a little bit simple, a little bit different. Now, we all love a good French fry, sweet potato fries, so many different cuts and variations, but one thing I believe a lot of people sleep on when they see it at restaurants is green bean fries, and that's what we're going to be making here today. Now, I've had these at a few restaurants, and trust me, when done correctly, these are a sleeper hit. So I've pulled out a little bit of fresh green beans. I prepared an egg wash, some flour, and some breadcrumbs with some extra seasoning. So we're gonna get these breaded up, we're gonna bake them in the oven, and we're gonna see how these all come about. So I'm gonna give you guys an overhead view. Thank you for tuning in, and let's get this process started. Alright, so I know this is a little bit of a weird angle, but I'm using a different tripod than normal. I already have the oven preheating to 400, so we're gonna basically do this nice and quick, right? We're gonna take these green beans, we're gonna do a little bit of a double wash into each of them. So we're gonna throw them in the egg wash first, get them all nice and kind of soaked up, because egg wash basically all it does is act as a glue to allow you to get other stuff stuck to it. So then once we're done with the egg wash, we're gonna throw them into the flour, and then we're just gonna want to get everything all floured up. A little bit of a yolkiness with the egg wash still. As you can see, the oven's already preheated. One little last green bean left in there. You want to get enough flour on it, because then when we do the double dump into everything, the double like breading, you want everything to be nice and kind of stick. So now that we got the flour kind of all onto everything, we're going to throw them back in the egg wash for a second washing, if you say. Now with the breadcrumbs, I know these look like they're flavored a little bit, and they kind of are. What I did was, with the breadcrumbs, pretty much it's regular breadcrumbs, but I added in some elote seasoning and some adobo to give it a nice little kick, a nice little flair. I don't think it's going to stick very well trying to do it like this. What we're going to do, take two hands, we're going to spread everything out a little bit. The flour is definitely very sticky on these, but that's fine, because the way it's going to cook, these are going to come out nice and crispy. So we're going to take just the breadcrumbs and actually start like sprinkling it all over onto these, just to make sure everything is nice and covered up. I know it may look like a mess now, but once these start to separate and once these all cook up, I believe these are going to be very, very tasty, very, very crispy, and delicious. Now, putting them into the oven like this, I don't really care so much. I do have a little bit of a mess going on, but what we're going to do, I'm going to put them in the oven for about 15 minutes to let these all get nice and cooked, and then we're going to test these out with a little bit of a dipping sauce. So let me throw these in the oven, guys. I'll come back when the finished product is done, and we'll go from there. Now, with these currently all getting cooked up in the oven behind me, I wanted to think there was going to be a bunch of different ways we could have approached this. If I had a deep fryer, I could have frozen these and then deep fried them. I could have also put them in the air fryer, but I felt like baking was going to be the healthier bet, and it allowed me to also put them kind of on like a baking sheet and set everything up. Now, I have no idea how good these are going to turn out. I'm hoping decent enough. If I have to adjust the time and the temperature before, putting them and plating them up, I will. We want them to be a nice, crunchy texture. I've had these at restaurants before, and they've always been fantastic for what it's worth, but I've never, asked the recipe, so I just kind of thought about going with a traditional breading technique, even though breading vegetables is a little weird depending the size of the vegetables. An eggplant is easy to bread because you have a higher, I guess you could say, surface area to bread it. Green beans, not so much, kind of all over the place. I'm hoping we at least get a nice little crunchiness to it, a browniness to it, and then I'll put together some kind of sauce, even if it's just like a salad dressing, to dip them in, and we're going to see how these go. So I'll check out with you guys when everything's all said and done. Alright guys, so they're out of the oven. I'm going to let them sit, let the air hit them. As you can see, they're kind of browning as we speak. We're going to let these cool down, then I'm going to plate them up over there, and then we're going to do a little bit of the taste testing. I hope these came out okay. They feel like they definitely got crunchy, so fingers crossed on this one. Alright everyone, so they're all plated up. Definitely the breading, I can say offhand, could have been a little bit better for some of these. They did stick together a little bit on the tray, so I had to separate them. You might be wondering what sauce I put on here, and it is a bacon ranch, like salad dressing sauce. I felt like that would go good with this. But if you look at them, they're not awful. They definitely have a nice little like firmness to them. So let's first take a bite, and let's see how well these came out before we try it with the sauce. Now offhand, there's very much like a vegetabliness with them. They did have a nice little crunch. And it's not awful. Now we're gonna grab another one. Let's do this big bad boy. We'll dip it in the bacon ranch sauce. And let's see how well. So, as I can honestly say from my own experience, here's one that stuck together. They came out nice. They are crunchy. They are crispy. It's very weird to eat these straight up, but when you dip them in like a sauce, it tastes fantastic. Now, as I mentioned, you know, I usually order these at restaurants as like a French fry alternative because they're good. They're different, and for my first attempt, there are a little bit of tweaks that I could make, but they didn't turn out awful. Definitely one tweak I can make is learn to bread these a little bit better, because some portions have a lot more breading than others, and others, you know, just feel like they're lacking on it, but they're not bad. As like an appetizer that you could bring out at parties, if you could definitely prepare these a little more cleaner. This was just kind of a rough shot for me, a one and done. I definitely do enjoy these. Bacon ranch is definitely a good dip to go with these, but I wanted to maybe have like a chipotle mayo also, because I feel like a chipotle sauce would go good with these. And I know even if you don't want to cook these at home, if you ever see them at a restaurant, definitely worth the try because it's definitely different. One thing I like order from restaurants are these and breaded like buffalo cauliflower bites. But either or are definitely worth trying out. I'm definitely going to finish these because they are tasting better as I'm getting used to the flavor, because it is an interesting taste because green beans in themselves are a very green vegetable, as you guys know, so they kind of have that vegetabliness to them. But as a like treat, like if you go into these knowing they're not going to taste like French fries but are like a decent substitute, it's definitely different, guys. So that's Cooking with Glenn, episode 17. Crispy, crunchy, fried green bean fries, we'll call these. If you've ever made these or have them at a restaurant, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, guys, thank you for tuning in with Cooking with Glenn. Leave your recipe suggestions down below. I'll catch you later. See ya. Bye.